getting like dogging on everybody, not even able to stand. Like that
That's
right
not
there.
Raw.
Well,
That was Royal Rumble.
but
Still, though, that moment when he slides in, goes to stand up, and just sits down against the rope.
Before we get into it, there's been a little controversy. I'll come to find out, so I'm gonna have to address it real quick. Apparently, last week I said some things about our new WWE, what is it, the United States champion Logan Paul, that upset some people. So I'm gonna set the record straight. Logan Paul as a guy, not a fan. As a wrestler, I can honestly say, and I've said it before, he hasn't had a match yet that hasn't been just an absolute banger. So as a wrestler, I've got respect for the guy. Like, I don't understand. He's got all this stuff going on, and I don't understand all these people that just run out and try to support everything he does. And they try to get their prime drinks all the time, and that's good.
Again, there will possibly be a table there that might or might not have something to do with the match. Come out and see us. I want to say thank you again to everybody in the chat. Thank you to the boys for being here tonight. I want to say thank you to Ross and the boys from Labor 12 for being here. With these guys every time.
We're there.
Okay. So are we seeing a shift to all your heavyweight stuff on Raw and your high flying luchador stuff on SmackDown?
I can tell you that is charcuterie because Ricochet is on Raw. Okay.
It's not shark.
That is a bunch of charcuterie.
All right.
Well, yeah, with that, we're at
Wheelhouse. So all I can say is Los Crudos better bring everything they've got because this is going to be a fight.
I'll say I'm pretty sure I've only heard of like one Texas death match, and didn't David Arquette like almost die?
Did you just talk about
Good
David Arquette?
Lord.
Did you bring David Arquette into a wrestling podcast?
I said, didn't he almost die? Like,
So is going to be the year for West Texas wrestling, especially at Squared Circle Pro. But July 19th, that is going to be an event that you will not want to miss under any circumstances, because I am dead set to make that night the biggest night in West Texas wrestling history.
And leading the way, and
I'm curious because I'm like, how are they gonna make someone? Because all the promos they've done to build him up, I'm like, the way that Sammy's been taking shots for Roman Reigns, the only real shot he's given back is a shot with the chair, and then he just got mollywopped. He's never been the guy who just comes out and messes people up.
what do you get?
And can overpower Roman Reigns. What?
What do you get?
Wally mopped, obviously.
The news we received yesterday of the passing of Terry Funk is one that hits all of us, especially us here in West Texas, really, really hard. Terry Funk was a legend in every sense of the word. He is the reason West Texas wrestling is what it is. A hardcore legend, a legend outside the ring. There's
and even beat him. Sorry to say, but he's a legend. But to be the best, you must beat the best, you know. And I feel like I can beat him. So Chavo, I'm calling you out. I said, come on.
There it is. Chavo Guerrero, right there. You heard it. Emilio Guzman calling you out, and I'm not gonna lie, love Chavo to death, but Team Emilio right here. That's where I have to go.
Yeah. So
All right, so it looks like we're having a couple of issues.
oh my gosh! All right,
There we
Yeah,
go.
there
Now
we
we got some
told you,
sound.
I'm adulting better than him already.
all right, Hunter, say ass.
What?
Say ass.
No.
You're an adult. Come on, don't be scared.
You're an adult. You can say ass now.
No.
See, he's being a good boy. Of course, everybody knows as as everybody knows, we've got BCW Wild Horses in Wilson, Texas coming up on February 3rd. And in preparation for that, next week, live on the Not Your Average Mark Wrestling Podcast, we will have the one, the only Exodus Prime as our special guest. AEW. What's up, everybody? Welcome to tonight's episode of the Not Your Average Mark Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, the tutorial boss, the one and only Guapo. With me is the president of Squared Circle Pro and two-time, count 'em twice, commentary partner of yours truly, the one, the only Rick Elzy. What's up, Rick?
Hey, I'm doing great. Long damn week.
Yeah, ain't that the truth? Well,
Yeah,
it was a
you'll
long
be
week, but it was a
happy to
good one.
know- You'll be happy to know that next year we will not be back to backing BCW on any week. So,
No, it was an experience. It really was. But you know what? I wouldn't trade it. It was a good time.
mhm.
So
It
before
was.
we get started into everything, we're going to talk about, of course, BCW show, the Battle of the Sexes weekend, SmackDown, Raw, all the wrestling things. Before we do, want to get into some thank yous. I want to thank Ross and the boys from Labor 12 for our intro outro music. The track is called Head Rush. The album's called Monsters. And we are working, from what I understand, on songs for album number 2. So if you haven't had a chance yet, head over to labor12.com. That is laborxii.com. Check them out. I want to thank Joseph and American Legacy for all our merch. We've got our hats, we've got our beanies, we've got our skull caps. My grandson has got a Not Your Average Mark onesie. It's awesome. I may bring him on the show next week just to show off a little bit. But they will take care of all of your merchandise needs. Want to say big thank you to J-Rebs 3D Printing. As you can see, this little bit of awesomeness right above my shoulder here. J-Reb put that together. He can take just about any logo you've got and set it up and make it a light box. So if you have a need for that, if you want to get you a sign like this one made, then check out jribs3dprinting.com. Of course, thank you to heckyeahradio.com for allowing us to be part of their website. If you head over there after the podcast, if you happen to have missed a show, you can click on the Not Your Average Mark button. It'll take you to our audio website or our audio podcast. Blind Ambition Studios, thank you for all the awesome graphics. And of course, the guy that makes it all work, the guy himself. So Patrick, appreciate you, brother. There's been a lot of hard work put into the podcast, a lot of time, a lot of effort, and just as much time, work, and effort put into our new website, notyouraverage.mark.com. Make sure you go check that out as well, because it's awesome. I think that's everybody. I think I got everybody, got all the thank yous out there. I want to say what's up to Jay Conrad Photography. Josh in the chat. What's up, brother? Glad you're here tonight. So it's been an interesting, 10, 11 days?
Yeah.
All right, so let's jump into it. We're going to start off with SmackDown. SmackDown was a decent show, man. I mean, Cody Rhodes starting the show. He comes out. A-Town Down Under comes out and decides they want to say a few things in the ring. Cody doesn't have anything to say, just starts throwing fists. They jump on him, and he steps out, and boxer Terrence Crawford hands him a chair, and that kind of equalizes things. A-Town Down Under says, well, maybe, I think somebody's calling me backstage. I'm going to go check it out, see what's going on. So, I mean, it was a good way to start. We go from that to Andrade versus Carmelo Hayes. They're both great athletes. There's no question about that. I mean, I was really excited for this match. I'm not going to lie, I was a little let down. It was a good match, but a whole lot of the spots are rushed, and you know, I just feel like they'd have been a little better if they'd have slowed it down a little bit and let it, let things happen.
Was it a
Andrade pulls
speed
the win
match?
off, but
Was it
say
a
what?
speed match?
Well, no, because this was not on Wednesday. It's funny though because
Did they know that?
I wonder. It's
Well,
funny because
Andrade
they
is the
did.
speed champion.
Oh, I know. That's what I was fixing to say. They made mention of the fact that he is the WWE Speed Champion, just not allowed to wear the belt.
Yeah.
Which is dumb,
I get there must be an X thing. I don't know.
I guess. I mean, all in all, it was a good match. Andrade pulls off the win. We went from that to Chelsea versus Bianca Belair. I was not a fan of this match. This was an extended squash match. Look, Bianca's great. We all know that. Chelsea Green is great. We all know that. Let these two have the match they deserve to have. Don't make it a squash match where they trade some moves and then Belair squashes her out of nowhere. I mean,
Mm.
I was not impressed with this match. So I hate to say that.
I mean, I get it. I get it. I was telling you before, there are some characters out there, Miz being one of them, and Chelsea Green, I feel, is another, that until it's time to really just give her the spotlight she deserves, and I think that's mostly because there's just so many stars that are over right now, and so few spots. Once she gets the spot she deserves, I think she'll get those moments. But until then, I think they look at it like she's getting TV time. And so
That's fair.
she's trying to maximize her minutes. And I think one of the things we've noticed about Chelsea Green is that she has no problem going out there and just getting murdered. And I think it's because she knows she can get through it. So I don't know. I could, but I understand what you're saying. I mean, when they're both good, you like to see them be good.
Exactly.
They're in a weird place right now because I feel like it's a lot like the Attitude Era in the sense that was a time when they caught lightning in a bottle, and there were so many over main eventers. And now there are so many people on the cusp of main eventing, but there's just no spots.
True. Very true.
Because who do you set aside? I mean, yeah. So that's my 2 cents.
No, and I agree with you on that. We went from that to Tiffany Stratton versus Michin. You talk about somebody who's on that cusp.
Yep.
The match was good. You knew it was going to be. But Bayley coming out and dropping Nia Jax. Nia Jax, of course, ringside. But Bayley comes out and drops her before she just absolutely destroys Tiffany's briefcase, which I thought was great until I realized. You know what this means?
Custom briefcase.
We're going to get a shiny, bedazzled Louis Vuitton pink Tiffy Time briefcase.
Yeah.
What have you done, Bayley?
You're gonna die on that hill.
I can't with the Tiffy Time. I can't do it. I'd rather have an hour conversation with Chris Watson than have to listen to Tiffy Time.
Wow. Okay. Damn. I think I'd rather talk to Tiffany Stratton than Chris Watson any day of the week.
Well, let's not get it twisted. If we're just having conversations, that's a whole different thing. We went from that into our main event. It was Kevin Owens, Cody Rhodes against A-Town Down. First and foremost, kudos and congrats to Kevin Owens' mother kicking out of the hospital. Like, she came through it like a champ, and she is out and back home, and couldn't be happier about it. Kudos to her.
Good for them. Good. I'm happy for Kevin.
As far as the match, it's a good match. And what I liked about this match is you've got the young talent in A-Town Down Under against veterans in KO and Cody Rhodes, and they made each other shine. And anytime you can have that, I'm excited about it. Chemistry was great. In the end, the vets get the win, but as anybody could imagine it ended with the bloodline coming out and laying waste. Cameron, brother, what are you doing? What's bad is I've known Cameron long enough to know that one day I'm gonna be sitting at home and I'm gonna get a box. I'm gonna be like, "Oh, cool, we got something." I'm gonna open it up and it's gonna be Tiffy Time keychains.
Absolutely.
Damn it,
That totally popped me when I read it.
Cameron, brother, what are you doing to me, man? So all in all,
Come to the dark side, Guapo.
can't
Come
do
to
it.
the dark side.
no sound effects,
It's Tiffy time here.
no Tiffy time.
Come to the dark side. We have cookies.
Now again, well, I mean, if there's cookies, nobody told me there was cookies.
With pink frosting.
No, because then they'll say Tiffy time. No, I'm not doing it. It's not happening.
And his name is John Cena.
All right, so all in all, SmackDown was a good show. I'm gonna give it a B because there was like I said, the Andrade Carmelo Hayes thing was a lot of the spots were rushed, and then the Chelsea and Bianca thing I didn't really get, so I'm just gonna put it out there as a B.
Okay.
But before we go on to Raw, I want to say thank you to Mikey out there, just subscribed for the 12th month in a row. Mikey, appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much.
What a kiss ass.
Huh?
I said, what a kiss ass. 12 months of sub.
There are no kiss asses here. Hello.
The only reason it doesn't show my longevity is because I'm actually on the podcast. So,
Well, no, it did. When you last week you subscribed for a 13th month, so you
I
got
know
Mike by
that-
one. I'm just saying.
that's the joke. I'm just being rude.
So let's get into Raw. We start off with Gunther on the mic, which it's always fun when Gunther gets on the mic. Like you don't think he's going to have the mic skills that he does, but he really does have some great mic skills. He's doing nothing but talking trash about Damian Priest, talking trash about the Judgment Day. They're a bunch of clowns. Tells Priest, look, let's just, get past it. Let's just do away with everything else. Just bring me my title and we'd call it good. And what Damian brought out was, he stole him right in the face one good time, and it was on from there. And I dug it. They fight all the way out. They're fighting out in the garage area, and we're getting our first glimpses of babyface champion Damian Priest, and I love it.
Yep.
I love that's where we're going. From there, we went to less talk, more action. Talking. It's a podcast, Mike. It's a talk show. It's not an action show. I want to say what's up to Aaron Marie in the chat. Aaron, what's up? Glad you could be on the show tonight. So next we get Braun Breaker versus Ilya Dragunov. I love it every time they put these two in the ring together.
Mm-hmm.
It's just high energy all the time. Mikey says he was talking about Damian. Mm-hmm. No, I agree with you. I like this version of Damian. It's not the, I'm going to puff my chest and I'm El Campeon, and it's let's fight. And I love this version. But going back to Braun Breaker and Ilya Dragunov, it's high energy anytime you put them in the ring. And these two in particular have a chemistry that's probably some of the best chemistry on Raw right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I dig it. There's a lot of brutality in this match. Braun gets the win, but not through a pin. Ref calls it, says Ilya cannot continue.
Did he slap the side of the head on the ring apron?
Yep. I took several spears that were very uncomfortable looking, and then he went to drop Breaker on the ring apron and caught his head on the side and said he couldn't go.
Yep.
Thus, Mike says, thus starts the running around in 6 different ways for Adam Pearce. That ain't no lie. I feel for that man. I do. It reminds me of a couple of people I know.
He earns his money.
He does. So After Braun gets the win, of course, Ilya has to be helped to the back. I love what they're doing with Ilya. Just can I'd be happier if I could see him do something like that at a PLE. I'm just saying, I think he's earned it.
It goes back to what we were saying. There's so many people that are over right now.
There is
so many people that need spots, and Triple H is just not about shoving everybody out there.
which honestly is a good thing. I mean,
Yeah.
Somebody that is making their way out there though, Lyra Valkyria going up against Sonya Deville. Good
Yeah.
match for Lyra. I mean, Sonya, the veteran out of this, is a decent match. It feels like it was more used to set up future rivalry, as Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler and Cadence, and
Yeah.
like they all brawled outside the ring. So in the end, Sonya Deville able to get the win on it, but I feel like this was more to set up future rivalry.
Yeah, I think so. And I also think that they're trying to cool Lyra off a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think that's because they don't want people to turn on her. They don't want people to get the idea that they're trying to shove her down their throat. And so I feel like, they're trying to backtrack on her just a little bit so that she's not so overexposed.
I mean, if they let her beat up Tiffany Stratton, I'd be okay with it. I'm just saying. So CM Punk comes out, and this may have been one of my favorite parts of the whole show.
Mm-hmm.
CM Punk comes out and he says, guess what? Talk to my doctor. I'm cleared. So Drew McIntyre, bring your ass. Let's go. And starts taping his fist right there in the ring. I'm like, yes, this is what I'm talking about. And Drew comes out with that angry, psycho, Scottish warrior look and says, I've been waiting for this forever to get in the ring. But yeah, I don't want to. I'm not going to. And Punk says, well, you know what? I want to. Jumps out of the ring, gets stopped. Adam Pearce is like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Stop. What he's not telling you is that you've been cleared. He's been reinstated. So it's official as of right now. CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre at SummerSlam. But here lately, especially as it pertains to Drew, I've had a referee problem. I've had a real big referee problem. Hit Seth freaking Rollins music. And he comes out in something that I'm pretty sure he took out of Becky's closet. I'm not 100% there. It was odd. I'm not going to lie.
I loved it. That was great.
He comes out and said the other thing he's not telling you is you can't, if either one of you touches each other before SummerSlam, the match is out. And whoever throws the first punch is indefinitely suspended because I ain't got time for this. And Seth Rollins makes it clear that he is the special guest referee. So this got old school vibes for me.
Yeah.
Tell me this does not have Bret Hart, Undertaker vibes with Shawn Michaels as a special guest referee. It's playing out.
Yeah.
And I love it.
And I wouldn't be surprised if they do the exact ending.
I could see it.
I really wouldn't. I wouldn't be surprised at all. I think that the cool thing about Drew McIntyre right now is that he has figured out how to troll on a completely different level.
Mm-hmm.
And did you see what he did on X today?
I did not.
You know who he's feuding with, right? We're just talking about it.
Yeah.
He took a picture with Jack Perry. And he's pointing, doing the wrestler point to Jack Perry. And Jack Perry's smiling, and it says up above, it's a real picture, Crimea River.
Real glass.
And it was up for about 2 hours before it got deleted. But he does that shit on purpose. It's amazing.
Oh, 100%. Drew McIntyre is the best. So we go from that into Xavier Woods, Tozawa, and Otis, which is kind of an odd pairing, but you know what? I dig it. It is the first time, and I forget the length of time, but it is the first time in, I think it's 200 and 64 shows that Xavier Woods has come out with a team other than somebody in the New Day.
Yeah,
So
I can
it,
see
it
that.
breaks a record, and I hate to see it.
You know, I'm not gonna lie. I'm so tired of the New Day. I like them. They're fine, but I'm tired. I need a break.
I get you,
And,
and I think
and it's
that's what
like,
they're moving towards.
and I hope so. I really, really do, because I think the New Day has a lot of legs, and of course, there's always the eventual return of Big E, whether he wrestles or not. You know, he could be an on-screen character for them.
Mhm.
You know, between the three of them, if you just give them a year to do something different and then bring them all back together, it'll be like everything that was old is new again.
Mikey says, "Come on, Rick. It's only been 9 years."
Exactly. My God. My God.
I love it. I love it.
We're going to be celebrating the 13th anniversary of SCP on September 21st. And New Day has been there for 9 freaking years. Like,
Yep.
my God. My God. That is a long time for a trio to stay together.
Very true. Very true. Well, in this one, we get a different trio. We get Xavier Woods, Tozawa, and Otis against the Final Testament. And finally, we get the Tozawa we all know and love. Like, we get the Tozawa that's ready to fly out of the ring and just get wild. That's
Yep.
my favorite Akira Tozawa.
Yep.
So, and that's exactly what we got. I loved every minute of this match. In the end, Cross does get the pin, and afterwards, Chad Gable and the Creeds come out and they offer Otis a chance to join up, and he says no. And they beat the hell out of him, and I'm thinking, oh no, they're beating up Otis. Stop it. And then I didn't have to think about that very long, because then the lights started going out, and the music hit, and the Wyatt Six are there, and best entrance since The Undertaker. I love it so much. They come in, smoke fills everywhere. They come in and they've got that pose up there with the blue light. I love it. Although they didn't come to the ring. No. Instead, Chad Gable turns around to find a masked Uncle Howdy, not in the jacket, but in the mask. I guess kind of an adapted mask.
Mm-hmm.
Uncle Howdy behind him says, there you are. He turns around, and what does he get for his troubles? He gets a Sister Abigail, and I love it. I love it.
Yep. I only had one problem with this whole segment. Just one. And it's not even a huge problem. It's just at some point, I'm going to need the context to explain to me why it's allowed. These guys debuted by destroying the entire backstage area. Why are they coming out of the backstage area?
Are
So
you going to stop them?
Well, but that's the thing. How are they even allowed to be back there? So, but I remember there was, Bo Dallas was in the office.
Mhm.
So apparently there's been some kind of something, but I'm going to need them to explain that. I want them to, what was the conversation? Why are they now allowed to just roam free? Just a little
thing to point out with that whole interview with Adam Pearce, the little bit that they got in the door before they closed it, the mailman hat was on Adam Pearce's bookshelf. Take that for what you will.
So maybe he's in on it.
I could see it.
That's not bad. I'm gonna need that context.
I get it.
But that's a minor gripe.
I was all about this whole segment. I loved every minute of it. And we went from that into what was supposed to be a match between Pete Dunne and Bronson Reed, but it turned into I'm Sheamus and I'm gonna kick everybody's butt. I mean, he cleared the ring, and he was asked about it right after that. And he said, we can handle this like true fellas and go have a pint, or we can go fight. How about a banger? He's just gonna he's bound and determined to make that banger line work. I'm just saying.
It might be trademarked. They might have merch coming out.
That he has a shirt that says banger after banger after
Well, then
banger.
there you go. That's we keep saying banger. Maybe they'll buy my shirt.
The problem is I can't hear banger after banger after banger without hearing Drew McIntyre saying burger after burger after burger. And it
Yeah, but
drives me
look,
crazy.
Sheamus, he lost all that. He looks great
did.
again.
He looks outstanding.
He said, I can lose the weight. You can't lose stupid.
Mikey says banger is worse than Tiffy time. I mean, we're kind of neck and neck there.
I think that they go together. Every Tiffy time is a banger. What? I didn't say. I was just trying to be nice.
Well played. I'll give you that one. Well played. Well, what happened after that interview was oh wait, let me hold on just a minute here. Did you hear that Logan Paul has to give up his title because of all the lawsuits? I hadn't heard that. I'm gonna need you to give me a little more context into that, Aaron, because I had not heard that. I'm interested to know a little bit about that. While you're getting me that info, I was so excited about what happened after that. Of course, Dom's walking down the hall. They're looking for Jey Uso, and they find Jey Uso. Sammy comes to save the day. Dom's walking by, and there's Liv. Liv says, "I'm tired of hiding. I'm tired of having to sneak around." And he's like, "I gotta go." Finn sees it, and he's like, "No, I'm gonna go this way." And Finn's like, "You're not going that way. You're going to get that way." It's a whole thing. Well, they get to a scene in the locker room where Rhea's like, "What happened?" Because Carlito and JD and Finn got beat up by Jey Uso and Sami Zayn. And so they're explaining what happened. And one of the things that gets said, well, how did you even let this happen? And Carlito looks up and says, "You ought to ask Liv." That was not cool. For being Carlito, that's not cool. So Liv basically grabs Dom by the ear and drags him to the ring. And they get out there, and Rhea's like, "You want him? Come get him." And of course, Liv's music hits, but she's not stupid. She's not going to walk down the ramp. She's up in the crowd behind them, and says, "You know what? I have feelings for Dom, and Dom has feelings for me. You know why, Rhea? Because he doesn't like women that look like you. He likes women that look like me." And then turns around, gives the cake shot, and that's all I've been hearing about on social media today, by the way. So Dom grabs a hold of Rhea and says, hold on, let me handle this. And begins a tirade in, a multicultural tirade as he tells her off in English and Spanish. And so we get a crying Liv Morgan walking away. And I think this brings back the psycho Liv Morgan. Personally, I think that's what's going to happen. But Rhea plays a game of I licked it, so it's mine. And just licks Dom from his neck to his eyeball.
Is that a thing? Is that a thing? Is that a real thing?
I remember as kids, somebody says, "Oh, look at ice cream. It's mine now. I licked it, so it's mine."
Huh, that's interesting. I'll have to employ that new
Family
tactic.
show.
I just said I would employ that new tactic. That's all I said. Okay, I have issues with this Dom Liv stuff. Not bad issues. What I'm finding mostly enjoyable about this is that Dominic Mysterio is 100% innocent. He has done nothing wrong. And
he was about to do something wrong when Rhea came back.
He was, but he was coerced and he was flim-flammed and bamboozled. And I mean, it's he has everything he told Liv in English was correct. Like, you're ruining my life, you know?
Everything he told her in Spanish was not nice.
Now, I believe personally that what is happening here, I believe that Finn and JD and Liv are all in on it. And I think that the plan is pull Dom over. I believe that Dom is going to screw Rhea at SummerSlam. And I think he is going to make sure Liv wins the title. And then I think Liv's going to drop him like a bad habit. And then that's where we'll get the reveal that Finn and JD are in on it. And the new Judgment Day will be Finn, JD, and Liv. And then you'll have Damian, Rhea, and Carlito on the other side. And Dominic will be a man without a country.
They can be called the Judged.
I think that Dom will be a man without a
Trademark.
country. And then I believe that the way that we go from there is we just build and build until we finally get Rey Mysterio coming back to help his son. I think
And
this is the
that would be
beginning
an
of
awesome
Dominic
full circle. I'm all about it, and we're going to hear more things like that next week when we do our
Mhm.
SummerSlam preview and prediction show. But no, I could definitely see that happening. And speaking of Finn and JD, they have a match next with no. We had Zelina Vega going up against Zoe Stark. Zelina Vega with one arm because of the damage inflicted by Shayna Baszler, I think it was actually, last week. I like this. I'm just glad that it's Zelina Vega getting a solid push. Like, she deserves it, in my opinion. I think she's great. She's getting that push, and she's in the match one-armed and was able to pull it off. And I think it was good. I liked it.
I like her. I like Zelina. I don't believe her as a champion, but I like her.
No, I don't see her as a champion, but I'm looking over at the chat, and Aaron Marie saying all the stuff to do with Prime, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, everything to do with the Prime and Special Olympics. She says, tag me in a post in Facebook. I will check that out immediately after the show because I am very interested in what is going on there. In this time of craziness and scandal, it doesn't surprise me if there's something going on there. So I'll check that out as soon as we're done with the show. I appreciate you sending that to me, Aaron. We go from that into Sami Zayn and Jey Uso against Finn and JD. It's a great match, but it's what happened after the match that I like.
Yeah.
Like, you've already got to know that you put those four in the ring, you're going to have a good match.
Mm-hmm.
But after the match, you had Breakker come in and just absolutely demolish Sami. And this does a lot of things. It continues to show Braun Breakker is uncontrollable and that he is a force to be reckoned with.
Mm-hmm.
And it gives some heat to the IC match that's going to be at SummerSlam. I mean, This just that one little thing accomplished a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So, not to mention the Judgment Day continue their reign, and everybody looks good. So, this was a good move, and this was a good show. I give Raw a solid A.
It's good. It's good stuff.
Like, I dig it.
WWE's on a real hot streak right now.
They absolutely are. And
they also, did you see today their Triple H and Nick Khan went over to London?
I did not.
They're in London today. They're talking to the mayor about bringing WWE to London. Guess where that's going to be at?
Do tell.
I mean, what's in London?
English people.
Wembley.
Yes, I know. I was trying not to say it because it's going to be a whole big deal because All In is at Wembley. And yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Just wait for that 100,000 break at Wembley Stadium and all the crazy people online collectively melt down.
I'm just Tony Khan being one of them. Like, the clown phone's going to be going off the hook.
The clown phone.
Tony Khan is a clown. I say it proudly. Speaking of Tony Khan and being a clown, though, blood and guts. There were some things there that I was not expecting. Swerve Strickland getting hit with the staple gun a bunch. Darby Allin trying to start Jack Perry on fire. Like, they're reaching, man.
Okay. There is violence, and then there is just ridiculousness.
Mhm.
And 25 years ago, everybody was like, ECW uses barbed wire baseball bats. They go through tables. They light stuff on fire. Oh my God, this is awful. This is terrible. This is awful. But everything that they did was in context to a storyline or the development of a character.
Right.
This is just, we have 30 minutes to fill. We're trying to get a new TV deal. Let's do as much ridiculous crap as we can and hope to God people stick around through the overrun so that it will inflate our rating. That's all it is.
That overrun has become a part of the show now. I mean,
Well, yeah, because they need Big Bang Theory to pad their numbers, and they need an overrun of 10 minutes to pad their numbers. You take the Big Bang Theory lead out away, and you take away the overrun, and it's a 500,000 person show.
0.5.
But they look, I am a huge fan of some of the violence, some of it.
When it makes
in
sense.
context. But when you I'm sorry, man. I'm just going to say this right now. As a promoter, anybody who's thinking of ever buying an SCP ticket, if you are buying a ticket in hopes that you're going to see a chair shot to the frontal lobe of somebody's brain, smack to the head, don't, because it's never going to happen on my watch. I'm not booking it. I won't do it. I won't allow it. And if that means you don't
Stapling anybody, we're not starting anybody on fire.
If that means that you don't buy a ticket to my show, good riddance, because I don't care. Because to me, the fans that are online clamoring for all of that violence, most of them have never set foot in a ring. Most of them have no money to pay hospital bills as it is.
Mhm.
Why would you wish crap on the people you supposedly love? I don't understand the mindset. It drives me crazy.
It does me too. And this is why I say that Tony Khan is a clown. Because more and more, and this is setting all the joking and all the funny stuff aside, more and more, if you watch AEW as a product, you're seeing people get injured. Not only are you seeing people get legitimate injuries, you're seeing them try to wrestle through these legitimate injuries for the sake of the show. And it's for the sake of a show that's not pulling the numbers to even justify thinking that way. And honestly, there's not a set of numbers to think that way.
Mm-mm.
So somebody is going to get themselves killed, or they're going to get permanently injured if things on AEW continue the way they are right now.
Yeah, I mean, look at the ECW originals. Look at how many of them currently are unable to compete, unable to walk, had to retire early. I mean, look at it. I mean, and not even them. Look at Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy can't stay healthy for his life. And yet every time he gets cleared, he goes up to the top rope and does some dumb crap again. And he's hurt. He's been in TNA for what, 4 weeks? And he's already hurt.
Well, I mean, you're not surprised by that.
Ridiculous. No, I'm not. But it's sad because the people in charge don't put their foot down. Do you know how many times in a night I say no backstage?
I'm sure a lot.
At least 7 or 8 times. Somebody will come to me and say, hey, can we do this? No, you cannot.
Aaron Marie in the chat saying his back can't handle it anymore, and then all the drugs. Absolutely, and you know it's a vicious circle in that because he does the moves and he hurts the back, and then he takes the drugs because the back hurts, and then he gets clean from the drugs, and then he hurts the back. It's an ugly, ugly cycle that you see way too often. But I will say that Tony Khan has gotten enough time on my show. Him and his clown show need to calm down. I can say with you know utmost respect, not my monkeys, not my circus.
Yeah.
Speaking of a circus of things, there was a circus of pain not this past Friday night or Saturday night, but the night before, as BCW Hot Blooded happened.
Yeah.
That was a good show. It was in Levelland at TMW Event Center. Your boy commentating and Rick joining me in the commentary, which was a lot of fun. Thank you for doing that.
I had a great time. I really did. I had a great time.
Some things happened while we were at this show.
Yeah.
Before we get into some of the things that happened, if you weren't there, if you didn't see it, you can go to the Not Your Average Mark YouTube page right now, or go to BCW Pro Wrestling's YouTube. It is up there on both. We'll see if I can't get the guy to post a link at some point in our socials. Excuse me. But I caught a little off guard when we started the show because the man himself, Mike Caldwell, middle of the ring, looking very dapper in his suit, and asked me to come to the ring, which I didn't know what I did, but you know I didn't even get started good yet. But he calls me to the ring, says he's got some very important meetings that are going on September 14th, which happens to be the day that we're going to be having the next BCW show. And he says, I can't be here. So, Guapo, would you stand in as general manager? So I asked him to make sure he knew what he was talking about. I said, you want me to be the general manager? He said, I want you to be the general manager. I said, you want me to run the show? He said, I want you to run the show. So I asked what the only obvious next question is, can I wear your blazer? In which he answered, of course you can wear my blazer. So I said I was in. So at the next show, September 14th, Live to Rise, your boy Guapo going to be the GM. Like, I'm going to try to do Mike proud on that. And I'll be wearing a blazer. So if you've never seen me in a blazer, there you go. All of this fun was interrupted by somebody that wasn't even on the card. I'm going to throw that out there again. Not on the card. Big Said makes his way out from the back, gets in the ring, starts talking trash, decides to put his hands on me a little bit, push me off into a corner. But see, I got friends. I got friends, lots of friends in the wrestling world, and two of them came to the aid, that being Marcus MD and Mac the Franchise. Came out and gave me enough time to get out of the ring before Mike set up a triple threat right then and there. Or it wasn't triple threat, it was 2-on-1 right then and there. I will say, Said being the monster that he is, he did win that match. And again, take your celebration. Congratulations. I was being ever the consummate professional. I stood up and I clapped for Big Said because he won his match.
You do know you know that comes off condescending, though, right?
Well, apparently he didn't like it because he's yelling and screaming at me. So I got up and I start walking to the ring because if we're gonna have a conversation, let's have a conversation. But Mike stops me and says, "No, go back up in the commentary booth." I'm like, "But he's yelling at me. He's trying to talk trash." So it's been made official that on September 14th, one-on-one, face-to-face, Big Said and myself will be having a conversation in the middle of the ring. Seraph in the chat saying, almost got your ass kicked. Look, I was never going to kick his ass. It wasn't that dangerous. Okay? It wasn't that rough. Okay? We were just talking.
Oh my God. I love you so much. I'm going to miss you so much. Oh my God.
So that's been set up. Sed and I are having our conversation September 14th. I'm excited about it. It's something that's been needing to happen.
Yeah.
So that's going to happen. But along with Tony Khan, that clown's got enough of my time right now too. So we're going to move on with him.
I'm just gonna sit at the commentary desk and just pray. I'm not even a religious man, but I'll go ahead and I'll participate. I'll go.
Well, I mean, he's going to need all the help he can get. I'm just saying.
I'm gonna bring a
So-
little bowl of crackers and some little wine cups, and we'll just have a little communion early to just be safe.
You give me the sana, huh? So let's get into some of these other matches. Of course, we had the American Tragedy Phoenix going up against Jeb Bingham for the #1 contendership for the BCW Heavyweight Champion. What
Hell
a
of a
match!
match. Hell of a match.
It was very back and forth. Like just when you think Phoenix has got the edge, then Jeb starts, catches a win, starts fighting back, and just when you think Jeb's fixing to take it, they clash up in the middle again. In the end, Jeb was able to pull this one off.
Mhm.
Congrats to him. He is your new #1 contender for the BCW heavyweight title.
Yep.
Then we had Emilio Guzman, your not so friendly neighborhood vato, going up against the Thunderbird Damo McCullough.
Mhm.
This was a match. Like,
It was.
I don't-
It was. It's good.
I don't think Emilio was quite prepared for what Damo had to bring, and I don't know that Damo was quite prepared for the measures that Emilio would take to try to win this match.
I think it was a case of Damo may have underestimated Guzman, but Guzman overestimated his own ability.
Emilio Guzman is the best wrestler in that building. If you don't believe me, just ask him. He'll tell you. Just say it.
Well, he ended up in the Big L column, so
Aaron Marie in the chat talking about Howdy doing the Sister Abigail was cool the other. It was cool to see him bring it back. I dug it. I really did. So in this match, like there was a lot of back and forth in this one, but in the end, I thought Damo, like I didn't know if Emilio was getting up. I thought he absolutely took Emilio's head off with this lariat that he did.
Yeah.
And so now the Thunderbird Damo McCullough, your new #1 contender for the BCW Texas title.
mhm.
So we've got both of our #1 contenders. We had a bit of an intermission there, and there I was, minding my business. It's hot in there. I went outside, cooled down a little bit, started walking back in. Here comes Big Sed. Got to be running his mouth. Make sure you show up. I'm the GM. Of course I'm going to show up. See, I don't think he understands things. I really don't. I'm going to be there because I'm the GM. Of course I'm going to show up. He tells me, you better be there, and everybody's trying. This is what I get. Okay, you're worried about Big Sed getting a hold of me.
Mhm.
Did you see what happened?
Mhm.
Okay, so you saw that when Big Sed decided to take it upon himself and reach that big bare paw of a hand of his out and slap me,
Mhm.
there was one person holding him back. I had Mike and Chase and Gabriel, and I had all these people pushing me back. He had one person.
Yeah.
I mean, that slap, he's going to regret that slap. I'm just putting that out there. But again, he's got enough of my time. Bring it down.
I would have come down to help you with that, but because I'm on a stage with stairs and I had my shoe wasn't tied well, I thought that it would probably be better if I didn't trip and fall.
Weren't you wearing slip-ons? I remembered you telling me about the thing, and then I get to thinking, weren't you wearing slip-on shoes?
No, I was wearing shoes with laces. I don't have slip-ons. What are you talking about? I'm not a child. I don't have slip-ons or Velcro. I don't have
Hey,
a
man.
plate of chicky nuggies and fries and ketchup in front of me. I'm a human being. I'm an adult.
Whoa. I get the Velcro. I get the slip-ons. But do not, in my presence, down the chicky nuggies. Okay?
if you are over the age of 18 and you still eat chicken nuggets, you've got a problem. Bone-in chicken is the only way to go if you're an actual adult.
Well, see, I'm not that grown up yet because I like my chicken nuggets. Thank you very much. See, Seraph gets it. Don't be dissing my dino nuggies.
Okay.
For some
Well-
reason, dino nuggies taste better than regular nuggies. I'll never understand it, but enough of that. As we come back from our intermission, we have Team Nefarious, that of course being TJ Slater and Atticus Wild, going up against the Resistance for the BCW Old School Tag Team titles. This was an interesting match. Nathan Briggs just getting beat down and unable to get over there and get the tag in. When he finally does enough to get over to get the tag, Jason Zane jumps down, tells him, I told you to take this seriously, and walks out on him.
Wow.
It was insanity.
That shocked me. That was shocking because I thought those two dudes were thick as thieves.
I did too. I didn't know what to think about that. But because of that, TJ Slater able to get the pin. Your new BCW Old School Tag Team Champions, Team Nefarious.
Yep.
And that's not the only belt that would change hands that night, because we had the BCW Texas Championship, Logan Knight versus Gabriel Alexander. And this match ended in a way that you just don't want to see a match end. And I know I'm not talking about because Logan won. Gabriel Alexander, during this match, they did a move both of them have done 100 times.
Yep.
And the way the landing happened, Gabriel hurt his neck and hurt it to the point that he had to have surgery. I have been in contact with Mama Sheila, and the surgery did go well.
Mm-hmm.
Gabe is recovering at home. But you never want to see a match end like that. Never want to see a match end with that kind of injury. I mean, 24 years old with a neck injury like that. I mean, you never want to see that. I will say your new BCW Texas champion is Logan Knight. Logan Knight already ready to defend that title. And he's got his number one contender in Damo McCullough. So I'm interested to see how that one plays out. Mike in the chat saying, Rick, Jake's called and said what flavor you want your chicken nuggets.
And I responded,
Habanero on my bone-in chicken wings. How do we get to chicken wings? Like, how do we get to nuggies? We're supposed to be talking wrestling here. If it's not a crossface, I don't want to hear about chicken wing. You see what I did there? You see what I did?
I do. I remember when Mr. Bob Backlund was putting that stuff on and people were screaming like he might kill somebody.
Well, we have to talk about Bob Backlund doing it, because if we talk about the other person that did it, I have to use the word redacted. So
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you do.
craziness. But that takes us to our main event. Brick Savage in the building against Justin Taylor. And when I say this was just a brawl, I've never seen anybody grab Justin off their back and throw him across the ring.
Yeah.
Like, it was insanity. It was in the ring. It was out of the ring. Justin had to grab a fan out of a chair so Brick didn't kill them. I mean, it was crazy. And somehow the living proof pulls it off again. Justin Taylor, still your BCW heavyweight champion, and will be going up against Jeb Bingham.
Wow.
It was a good show, man. I dug it.
I can't wait to see who the lucky promoter is that gets to put Brick Savage and Big Set in the same ring at the same time again.
Oh, I just want to be there.
Well, November 16th, you might think about it.
Is that? Am I hearing that? Like, is this a drop?
I just said maybe. We'll see.
Well, this whole night was very exciting. Like I enjoyed it. I had a good time. You know, Sans being slapped by Big Said. Great action from a great roster of talent, and I give it an A. It was definitely a good show.
It was a great show. It was real fun. Good night. I mean, the only down part of the night was, of course, what happened to Gabriel. But I mean, the fact that that kid finished the match, that's amazing. And
What?
you know, just tougher than nails. And he's lucky. He's actually lucky that this happened to him this early, because he's going to have a great chance to come back. And
Yes.
so it's you know, it's a bump in the road, but he's a fighter and he's a good kid, and I have no doubt he'll be back.
No, he is a fighter, and I can't wait to see him back. You know, and if you're watching tonight, Gabe, we love you, brother, and we can't wait to see you back better than ever. That's going to take us into the Squared Circle Pro Battle of the Sexes weekend. But before we go there, again, want to thank everybody who's watching, everybody who's listening, everybody who's checking it out afterwards. Thank you. You guys are the reason we do this. You make it so much fun for us. Love y'all big. It's great. What I need you to do is go through and click all the things. Go to the socials, click the likes, click the follows, click the subscribes, click all the things, and then call your mama and tell her to go click all the things. Because when we get that kind of response, people clicking the follows, clicking the subscribes, clicking the likes, it helps our algorithm and we get out to more people. So tell your best friend, tell your mama, tell your grandmama, click all the things. Now that we've got that out of the way, let's get into the Squared Circle Pro Battle of the Sexes weekend. What a weekend it was.
Oh my gosh.
How you didn't go home and sleep for like 3 days, I don't know.
It was interesting. It was interesting. The last 2 nights, I've finally been able to get some decent sleep. But
Good.
like Sunday and Monday, I couldn't turn my brain off. So
Sarah says he forgot to click all the things. Rat bastard.
How?
How do you forget to click the things?
You know who you are. How? Aren't you in
Slacker.
charge of all the things?
That's true. How do you not click all the things when you're in charge of all the things? Damn. All right. So Friday night, we had Equal Rights and Lefts, the first all-women show in West Texas. And when I tell you these ladies blew the roof off the place, I can't think of another way to say it. They were outstanding up and down the card. Every match on here, I said it all during our week-long run-up, every match on the card, a main event level match.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
let's get into it. First thing we had happen was our women's GM Medusa comes out, Missy Hyatt, the Walking Riot comes out to talk a little trash. Our women's GM talk a little better trash than Missy Hyatt does, I'm just going to say.
A lot of people don't realize that this is heat that goes back to like 1989.
Yes, it does.
I mean, these 2 women, they were like the 2 lead women in the NWA after Baby Doll left. And so it's like, you know, Missy blames Medusa for Missy losing her spot.
Yep.
That's what it is.
Well, you can tell that heat is still there 100% just by watching the opening of the show.
Oh yeah.
So we go from there to London Dior versus Ray Lynn, or as they call her, Cray Lynn, which after watching this match, I understand the nickname. London Dior, of course, a graduate of Reality of Wrestling, Booker T's school. And these 2 ladies put on a match. I loved the back and forth in it. There were some moves that Ray Lynn did that I'm still trying to figure out. And all in all, it was a great match.
Well, Ray Lynn is also a competitor for Women of Wrestling for WOW. So she's on TV with them. And her boyfriend, Sam Adonis, was actually in the building.
This is true.
Sam was watching the show, which was awesome to see Sam again. But yeah, and so we had some talks afterwards, and I think that maybe next year we will see both Raylan and Sam Adonis at SCP.
I'm about it. Make it happen, Captain. So that was a great match. We go from that little bit of a change in some of the matches. I don't know if you guys heard, but apparently Microsoft broke the world.
Lots of planes didn't take off.
That's true. So we had a few
we
people not show up. So we had I believe we were billing it as a 5-way fatal.
Yes, and it ended up being a triple.
We did. We had a triple threat. The trophy case, Nikki Chase against Aaron Aris and Victoria Mosh.
Yeah.
This was a good match. And kudos to Victoria Mosh in this match because it seemed like almost immediately Nikki Chase, Aaron Aris, they teamed up and they're going after Victoria Mosh. And Victoria Mosh fought them off well.
Victoria Mosh had a lot to prove. This is her third appearance, and she hasn't gotten a win yet. So she had a lot to prove. Aaron and Nikki have kind of a loose relationship. It's almost like a mentor-student type relationship a little bit. So, it was natural for them to kind of have each other's back. Of course, that fell apart at the end.
Right. And what you get is Victoria Mosh. I mean, it's one of those situations that I've said about Ilya Dragunov before.
Mm-hmm.
He may have lost the match, and Victoria Mosh may have lost the match, but she didn't lose the damn thing.
No.
She showed up and showed out.
Yeah.
In the end, Aaron Aris going for the pin, but Nikki kind of escorted her to the floor, and she rolls in for the pin and gets the 1, 2, 3. The winner of the match, Nikki Chase.
Every woman
I
for
thought there was
themselves.
going to be some problems there, but it didn't appear that there was.
No, I think Nikki was trying to teach Aaron a valuable lesson. To always watch your back, don't let your guard down, and don't trust anybody.
Sarah saying, I just got to say, my favorite part of this night was the ring announcer. She did a fantastic job. Ileana is absolutely amazing.
Yes, she is. Ileana is amazing, and she will be back. She will be our official ring announcer for the women's matches.
As a ring announcer myself there, it was awesome to watch and learn from her. So, Ileana, if you happen to be watching this, you're awesome. Thank you so much for all the pointers. She's my new favorite ring announcer. We went from there to kind of a different match here. We were supposed to have High-Ann with Paula Fate going up against Samantha Starr with Baby Doll in her corner. We had Baby Doll come out and explain that Samantha's plane never left the ground because, Microsoft broke the world. And so High-Ann's just steady talking trash, just blah, 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 and invited Baby Doll to take Samantha Starr, of course, Baby Doll's daughter, take her place. And Maserati Lazarus said, nope, I've heard enough. Do you remember me? Because you're in my lane.
Yep.
And you're not going to talk to this legend like that.
Yeah.
So the match was made. You had High-Ann versus Maserati. And I'm all day, every day. Vroom, vroom. Maserati. I love it.
Yeah. It was a really, really good bout. And on the heels of that, anybody that enjoyed that should know that on September 21st at Birthiversary, High-Ann will be back. She will be challenging for the championship.
So we get some more of High-Ann on September. Okay, are we keeping? I guess she bringing Paula with her? Or?
I'm pretty sure.
Well, I mean, Paula kind of got a little lesson in respect, I would have to say. Baby Doll kind of grabbed her and threw her on the ground, threw her in the ring. I mean, shook her around all crazy. I mean, it was something.
Yeah. I believe that Andre 3000 would have been proud of Baby Doll because she shook Paula Fate like a Polaroid picture. So.
Well done, sir. Well done. So that was almost as crazy as our next match. Evelyn Carter versus Morgan Mercy. You see what I did there? That,
did.
ladies and gentlemen, is called a segue. But it's the first time I've heard Evelyn Carter referred to as your girlfriend's favorite psycho, and I thought it was great. I loved it.
Yeah.
I believe it too, because she is just sitting there getting hit and laughing, just this maniacal laughter. And she was taking a beating. Like Morgan Mercy, I'm pretty sure was ready to rip her arms off. And given the opportunity, I think she would have. This match did end up with, I believe, Morgan Mercy getting the win on this one.
She won the first fall.
That's right. It's 2 out of 3 falls. She won the first fall.
Yeah, Evelyn secured the second fall, but Evelyn hit a crossbody and she actually dislocated her elbow, and it popped in and out, and she rolled out of the ring. And while she was out of the ring, Morgan Mercy had no idea that Evelyn was hurt. Like if Morgan Mercy had just not gone after her with a chair, that the match probably would have been called. And Morgan probably would have won by forfeit, but she hit Evelyn with the chair and the ref disqualified her. So, Evelyn did win 2 falls to 1, but she didn't get the wins that she wanted.
Right. And of course, everybody here at the podcast wishing Evelyn Carter a quick recovery from.
She went to the hospital immediately, and they made sure she was good, and so they put her in a sling. Of course, that wouldn't stop her because she would show up the next night at Headlocks and Heatwaves.
Yes, she would, in a big way. We went from that match to Veronica Vega with El Gringo Loco with the Arm Wrestling Open Challenge. See, this is what I tried to warn her. I spent all week warning Veronica Vega, don't do an open challenge. You don't know who's going to be there. And I washed my hands of this. I tried. Who walks out for this? Kay Daver, the They Them Me Mayhem, and Killian Crow.
She brought Killian Crow with her because she knew that Lemigra was going to be involved.
I don't know which one Gringo was more scared of.
Oh, I'll tell you, man. Kay Daver and Killian Crow may be my new favorite wrestlers. I love both of them. I think they're amazing.
Absolutely.
So excited to have them be a part of SCP.
To say that Kay Daver won the arm wrestling competition is a bit of an understatement.
She dominated.
She did, in fact. And Gringo
she got a pair of lungs on. They have a pair of lungs on them. They do.
Yes, they do. They have some lungs for sure.
Yes, very much.
Go back and watch the video. You'll see what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Gringo trying to pull a little something. I thought Killian Crow was going to kill him, and I think he thought the same judging by the speed he got out of the ring. Just say it. After that, we get what was probably my favorite match of the night. Lindsay Snow versus Miranda Gordy.
Yes.
A tactic used in this match that I don't believe I've ever seen before. Like if I did, it was during an APA match. They get into it, they're fighting, everything's going good, they're having a match, they brawl out of the ring over by the bar, and they stop. Lindsay Snow stops, says, wait. And then they both do shots. This is a tactic that I am not familiar with, but it works. Aaron Marie in the chat saying, where can I watch these matches? You can go to is it still on Heck Yeah Radio, or is it only on the?
It's on YouTube now. I'm gonna shoot Aaron a whisper, and I'm gonna give her the links.
All right, sounds good. Yeah, you can see these matches on YouTube. You can see them when this is going on. You can see it live, heckyeahradio.com. When it's all said and done, Lindsay Snow is a certified badass. Like, that's just all there is to that. She is a no quit, let's fight, like fight. Because I believe that was what Miranda Gordy told her was, oh, you want to fight. So she is a no quit, fight, like face punching, ear biting, just fighter. And when you've got somebody like Miranda Gordy in the ring across from you and you're that kind of fighter, you're going to get exactly what you want. In the end, Miranda Gordy, the bad street beauty, able to pull off the win. And it was amazing. It was one of my favorite matches of the night. No question about it.
I loved it. I thought it was great, and feel very confident that both of those women will be back.
I hope so. We go from that to Skylar Slice and Nova Phoenix going up against the Divas of Destruction. This was not a wrestling match. This was a brawl. Like, these ladies beat the hell out of each other. I don't know any better way to put it. In the end, Skylar Slice, Nova Phoenix coming out on top in that one. And then we go to the main event of the night. Misty Marks against a returning Anastasia Morningstar. And what a fight. Like, it was...
Absolutely.
It was so good.
Yeah, that was absolutely crazy.
Misty Marks, that's our girl. You know, she's the majestic one. Put up a hell of a fight and able to retain that Squared Circle Pro West Texas Women's Champion. Anastasia Morningstar not happy about it. But she would get a chance at revenge the next day on Saturday as we go into headlocks and heat waves. We opened that show with Jason Zane versus Alluvio. The same Jason Zane that we watched walk away from his partner at Hot Blooded.
Very much.
This was a good match. And when it's all said and done, Jason Zane able to pick up the win in that one. I believe that's right. Jason won that one, right?
Yes,
yeah, Jason won that one.
Yeah, Jason beat Alluvio.
I just stop and think about it for a second, but yeah, Jason won that one. Yours truly got the opportunity to have a conversation in the ring with Bobby Venom. That was a lot of fun. Bobby, looking forward to being your 2-time Squared Circle Pro champion. And as he was taking in the crowd, kind of cheering for him, out comes Lucas Scratch. And Bobby's looking at me like, did you do this? I got nothing to do with all this. I don't know what's going on. Lucas Scratch comes in and inviting him to join the Gallery of the Damned. He doesn't have championship gold because he's not part of Gallery of the Damned. You should join. Bobby Venom tells him very emphatically, no, not doing it. So that was awesome. I got the honor at that point of inviting Ileana to the ring, and we had a 10-women over-the-top battle royal.
Yep.
When I say it was insanity, it was insanity. Like, I got the opportunity to go sit down. You know, I let her have the ring announcer's chair. I went and sat down with the boys, and we watched the show.
Yep.
I was really, really impressed with Nikki Chase in this one. Like, Nikki did big things.
She did.
And I was really impressed with her. I was happy to see, like, what do we have in the end? We had, I'm trying to remember, Final Four.
The last four were Anastasia Morningstar, Nikki Chase, Skylar Slice, Nova Phoenix.
Nikki Chase was able, like, I loved it because they all went over there to get Anastasia out, and she got the push, and she was celebrating. She was like, yes. It was great. I loved it. In the end, once it's all said and done, Skylar Slice able to win the 10-woman battle royal and become the first. Now, what are we? Sensational.
The Sensational Invitational. We're going to do an annual women's battle royal. It's in memorial to Sherry Martel, to Queen Sherry. So it's the Sensational Invitational, and the winner receives a crown. And then, of course, they title shot.
And in this case, that was Skylar Slice, and congratulations to her on that. After that, we get Downfall Cathedral, our boys, guests on the show last Thursday night. And they're going up against El Diablo Blanco, and Chris Watson. They're gonna let Chris Watson. I was so excited because it's just not my week for people that are not on the card. You know what I mean? Said wasn't on the card. You saw what happened there. Chris Watson wasn't on the card. He shows up anyway. It's not my day.
But they got beat by Downfall Cathedral, so you should.
That's
be
what
good.
made it better. And when I tell you, okay, I talk a lot of trash about Chris Watson, but I've got to make mention of it. I can't not say it. He took he's coming off the I don't remember if it was the top or the middle rope, and he took a boot right to the chin. And when I say it was reminiscent of Triple H, like the long cell where he's rocking back and forth, but he's not falling down, it was great. I loved every minute of that. So I will give Chris that one. That was awesome. I loved it. In the end, Downfall Cathedral, of course, Downfall Cathedral won. That's Ramrock and Ryan Ribbon. Of course they won.
Yep.
So it was awesome to see our boys move on to the finals, which will be September 21st. And we will talk about who they're going up against here shortly. We went from there to the six-pack challenge. Stevan Remsen, Onyx Camacho, Max Beckett, Rob Boris, Reggie Lincoln. Who am I missing?
It was okay. We had
And LC
Stevan-
Mox. How can I forget LC
Yeah.
Mox?
Remsen was out there with Lincoln. We had Onyx Camacho, and we had Elsie Mox. Onyx got eliminated. And
He
the
held
next
his own for a
person
while,
out-
though.
Yeah, he was there for a while. But then Rob Boris came out, and Boris ended up getting eliminated. And then Max Beckett came out.
Okay, stop right there. Max Beckett, the loudest man in the room, Max Volume Beckett, walks out, stands right between Stevan Remsen and LC Mox, and just starts throwing chops both ways until his arms were tired. And both of these guys just kind of looked at him and then looked at each other and then looked at him. And the beatdown began. It was awesome to watch.
Yeah. And they took care of Beckett. And then the surprise was the next entrant was Reggie Lincoln.
Mm-hmm.
So he just hopped up on the apron and got involved, and suddenly it became 2-on-1.
Oh no! Looking at Mikey in the ring, I forgot about it. We're gonna get there.
And then, of
And
course,
became- yeah,
Reggie
became-
got eliminated.
Yeah,
And
Reggie
then
got eliminated. Your winner of the match, Stevan Remsen.
Yeah. So yeah, Remsen got rid of Mox at the end. So Remsen stood tall, and that was a hell of a fight.
It was. I enjoyed it. I thought it was great. We also had a tag team match, End of the World Party going up against Ocho and Angel Camacho. That was a hell of a match. Like I loved. It was my first time getting to see them, but I loved watching Angel Camacho because, like, that dude has got, in the way he talks and some of the things he does in the ring, like he's got Rikishi vibes. Like, you know, somebody would do something and he'd grab a hold of him right before he'd do his move. You'd hear, "Got him," and like it was just reminiscent of Rikishi for me, and I really, really dug it.
Yep.
Ocho and Angel pulling out the win on that one.
Yes.
We had Los Carnales, of course, that being TOJC Bravo and Emilio Guzman, going up against JP Nitro and what would be a mystery partner that turned out to be the certified go-getter himself, Draven Reeves.
Yes.
This was a good match. Like
Very
I
good
feel like JP and Draven held their own.
They did their best. They did their best for sure.
In the end, Los Carnales get the win, but it's what happened after the match. JP's down. They've got a chair in the ring, and it looks like they're fixing to break JP's neck.
Yep.
JP's wife comes into the ring and lays over her husband so they won't do it. And JC Bravo, the little smurf that he is, reaches into his fanny pack, pulls out some scissors, and gonna cut some hair, but nope, here come the Camachos. Gonna run Los Carnales out of the ring, and it didn't. I'm just saying. I think Onyx was the first one to hit the ring, followed by Ocho and then Angel. It didn't take them any time at all, Los Carnales, to get out of the ring.
I mean, come on. You've got 3 of the Camachos coming at you, you know. But I don't know if Tara realizes how lucky she was, because
I hope
one of the
so.
things we tell people all the time, if you are not a trained wrestler, you do not get in this ring.
That's right.
And she got in that ring, and they were being pretty physical with her. Like that was a little uncomfortable there for a second. So I mean, but she's the one who hopped in the ring. So I mean, she owes the Camachos a real debt of thanks.
Absolutely. After that, we get Brian Rage Rivera up against Baby Samoa for the Heck Yeah Radio pay-per-view title. Another, just, forgive the phrase, just a banger of a match.
Yeah.
These guys know each other so well, and you could tell it all through the match. Brian Rage Rivera able to get the win, retain his title, and immediately told Baby Samoa, I got a few things I haven't taught you.
Yeah.
And that was one of them.
Yeah.
So it was awesome.
And I think it was obvious that Baby Samoa was a little taken aback. But we'll see. I mean, everything's a learning lesson. So this was his first title opportunity, and it didn't go his way. So we'll see what happens in the future.
I somehow feel like it's not going to be his last one either.
No, but Baby Samoa's in it for the long haul.
Looking over at the chat, I missed one up there. Mikey saying Nikki was in Gorilla pretty much all night Friday, watching matches and mentally taking notes. It's the mark of a great wrestler.
Yeah.
So we went from that. We were supposed to get Ryan Justice with Paula Fate versus Bam Bam Malone with Nolan Phillips. That is not what we got. Nolan comes out and says, you don't have a match tonight because Bam Bam don't want to fight you tonight. And very nonchalant, very arrogant about it. Clayton Bloodstone comes out. Well, of course he does because he's a Nolan Phillips guy. But he comes out. They're in the ring with Ryan. Here comes Phoenix. This does not end well for Nolan or Clayton Bloodstone, who decide, you know what, I've had enough. It's time to go. So what, Rick, what'd you say? We'll be back there in just a second. TJ comes out and says, whoa, where are you going? There's 2 of them. There's 2 of y'all. Get in the ring. Let's make it happen. And it was a good match. I don't know how Nolan made it out of there alive, because first opportunity he had, Phoenix beelined for Nolan Phillips. Nolan Phillips gets in, causes a bit of disruption, gets him out of the ring, and then you would think this is the point where Ryan would lay out Clayton Bloodstone, but it's not. This is the point where Nolan had grabbed a hold of Paula Fate by the back of the hair and drug her around. And then we're all feeling for her. We're like, this is not great. And she jumps in the ring and to Ryan, turns on Ryan, cost him the match. When I say the crowd was deafening with their boos, damn.
Yeah.
The crowd was pissed off at Paula Fate.
Yeah. That unfortunately, what a lot of people feared might happen happened, and Paula Fate is now firmly in the camp of Nolan Phillips and his group. And Paula's got her own stuff. I mean, she's got Hyann. Who knows how many other people she might be working out deals with. I mean, the combination of Nolan Phillips and Paula Fate on the same page should worry a lot of people.
I was upset with Nolan Phillips until he said one thing that I can't, I consider myself fair in things, and I can't argue with what he said. He's been telling Ryan all along that Paula's going to turn her back on you.
Yeah.
Like, he's been saying it the whole time, so this was not a surprise for him. I was a bit surprised. I'm not going to lie. I didn't think she was going to do it.
I just want
Um,
to say real quick how proud I am of TJ Mundell and the job he's doing as GM. He's getting very comfortable with making matches and being the authority figure. He's Johnny on the spot, coming out there to handle business when it needs to get handled. So I'm really happy about that.
I am too, and I agree with you. He's doing a great job. I am looking down at the clock though, so we're gonna, normally we stop at 9:30, but we are gonna go through the rest of these matches before we get done. The next match, one that I was waiting for, I have been so happy about it. This is the match I waited for. This is the one I wanted to see most. This is one I was happy I got to announce. Lilith Blood, Killian Crow, and Kay Daver versus Gringo, Charlie 50, and Veronica Vega. What does Jim Ross call it? Slobber knocker.
Oh my gosh. And I mean, with Medusa and Missy at ringside, and then we have the match, and just a little bit in there, Johnny Michelson gets knocked out, and so out of all people, Matthew Robles comes out in a ref shirt to try and take over, tries to screw the match up. Well, he got his.
Oh, he did. He took a forearm right to the head. But he didn't get it as bad as Gringo did.
Oh my god!
Because after that happened, after MK takes one, Gringo looks over at Missy. Missy throws her Gucci bag, her purse, into the ring. Gringo goes to hit Lil with it. Lilith catches it, pulls it away, and the sickening thud of that purse hitting Gringo in the head. Like, I don't know what she keeps in that purse, but
it has been long thought that it's a brick, but no one knows for sure.
Well, after hearing it hit his head, I believe it, because it was just a sickening thud. And then we get the 1, 2, 3. Lilith, Killian Crow, Kay Daver, they are your winners. And you may have seen me go like this talking about this match. It was not a good night to be Guapo's water bottle. And I'll explain all of that in a minute. I got my water bottle jacked like 3 times by different people. Medusa took my water bottle twice. So I have to get like a bucket or something.
You need to pour your water into some type of a cup that has a chain that's attached to the table. Or just have a pack of water next to you for people to just take.
Some breaking news in the chat. Mikey saying due to Paula's deal with how Ryan and Justin recently, she has been removed from her position as an announcer for BCW. Oh, so for turning on Ryan and turning on Justin.
Ugh.
Wow.
All right then.
Damn it. Okay.
Well, she's got a manager's license, so
that she does. So we're going to go to the next match. That's another one of my favorites. Bobby Venom and the Pitbulls going up against Marquise Jackson, TJ Slater, and Nate Collins. This was a good match. This was a lot of back and forth. I feel like TJ's playing Puppet Master, because he kind of stayed back and cool and calm and collected the whole match. Like, he got in and did some things, but for the most part, he was in the back and saying, "Hey, man, go do this."
Well, TJ's the one who kind of started all this.
Yeah.
TJ was the one who had
TJ's the one that started
with
this.
Justin. He started it. He got Nate involved. He got Marquise involved. So, yeah, I could totally see that. But that, Bobby Venom learned real quick that maybe you don't just dismiss Lucas Scratch.
Yeah, the Gallery of the Damned they came out, beat down Bobby Venom. Like, when I say they have him like this on their shoulders and just carrying him back to the back, this allowed Marquise Jackson, TJ Slater, and Nate Collins to get the win. They decided to hang out over in our interview area with our interviewer, a returning Josh Ryan. And they decided to get a close view of the next match, which was Nobi Bryant versus Brick Savage. And holy hell.
Wow.
Of course, Jackson, Slater, and Collins trying to get both of them, come join our group. Come to the dark side. Apparently there's cookies. I didn't know. Both of them laughed in their face. It was like, nah, that's not going to happen. Brick and Nobi just tore each other apart in the middle of the ring. It was
Absolutely.
exactly what we thought it was going to be. And in the end of the match, Marquise, TJ, and Nate come in and just put the beat down on Nobi. And once again, TJ comes out, says it ain't going down like this. So there was a match made. You're going to have Marquise Jackson and TJ Slater and Nate Collins in a match. And that match is going to be against Nobi Bryant and Justin Taylor and Brick Savage. And if that's not enough for you, it's going to be in a steel cage on September 21st. Holy hell.
Yeah.
You're going to, Rick, you're putting Brick Savage
Hey,
in a cage.
TJ Mundell made that decision.
That's TJ. You're putting Brick Savage in a cage.
That's a lot. That's a lot of meat in between four steel walls.
It is, and I won't be standing anywhere near said steel walls. So that match has been set up. I'm waiting for that. Mikey over in the chat saying, I find it pretty cool how things work out between Squared Circle Pro and BCW. Do you think that Brick would have accepted the idea of Justin being in the same team as Brick without the gaining of respect for Justin even a little bit? No, absolutely not. I think that having the match with Justin and, Brick said it exactly like he should. I don't even know Justin like that, but I respect him enough that we can do this. I think he said it best.
Yeah. Timing is everything.
Oh, absolutely. We go from that to Misty Marks versus Skylar Slice. Skylar winning the Sensational Invitational to get her chance against Misty Marks. And kudos to Misty Marks defending her belt both nights.
Yep. 2 nights in a row.
She is now officially the most fighting women's champion. Not just the longest reigning, but the most fighting women's champion for Squared Circle Pro. In what was
defenses. She's had 6 defenses.
And all of them great.
Yeah.
And this one was no different. Skylar Slice took Misty Marks right to the edge. But Misty able to get the win and still your Squared Circle Pro West Texas Women's Champion. That brought us to our main event, Sam Stackhouse versus Damo McCullough. And these two just flat out beat the hell out of each other. Oh, Seraph. Easy now, killer. Seraph in the chat saying Misty's getting more and more arrogant. I don't think it's conceited, man. I think it's convinced.
She's magnificent. What do you expect?
That's true. That's true. Sam and Damo, this was exactly what I thought it was going to be. These two beat the hell out of each other. And much like happened at BCW, we ended the match with just this massive lariat. Like he hits the first lariat, Sam goes down, he sits back up, and Damo comes off the ropes and just tries to take his head off, gets the 1, 2, 3, and new Squared Circle Pro Heavyweight Champion Damo McCullough. And that's how you end the biggest weekend in West Texas independent wrestling.
Yep. I loved the whole weekend. I thought it was great. I don't ever want to do 2 shows back to back again. But
I can understand that.
But I can guarantee you Equal Rights and Lefts will be returning in 2025, but we will not be doing it back to back.
I can't wait for it. I know we've gone a little over time. I want to thank everybody that stayed with us a little over. I'm talking trash about Tony Khan, and here I am doing a 10-minute carryover. Yeah, it happened. I do want to rating for Friday night was an absolute A+. These ladies killed it. I can only give an A. I was going to do an A-, But I will give Headlocks and Heat Waves an A. The only reason it didn't get an A plus is because she put Chris Watson on the card. So he saved you from an A minus with the long cells. So I'll give you that. But you put him on the card, that automatically kills the production value at least a point.
A point.
Just saying. But again, I do want to thank everybody that stayed with us for, as we went over just a little bit. Thanks to everybody that watches, everybody that listens, everybody that interacts with us. We love all you guys. Can't wait to see you next week. Rick, thank you so much for being on the show and
Absolutely,
for
anytime.
this weekend.
Hey, everybody that participated, it was a collective issue. I could not have pulled off this weekend without all of the help that I had. You, Richie, Mike, TJ, just everybody that helped in any manner that we needed the help. It was amazing. And it just goes to show once again what I've always said about indie wrestling. Nobody does it alone.
Right.
It's a collaborative effort. We all must help each other.
No, I agree wholeheartedly. And it's awesome to be a part of this family. Because we are over, I am going to say Independent Wrestling. Make sure you check it out. September 14th, September 21st. Those are going to be our next shows, and we're going to talk more about those as they get a little closer. We will be back next Thursday night to do SummerSlam predictions and preparation. So that's going to be the same usual time, 8 p.m. Thursday night. Until then, I am Guapo. That man is Rick Elsey, and we're not your average marks. See y'all Thursday. Yeah.
I'm gonna drink it all away and find my head rush. I'm good with drowning out the pain inside my head.